Let's talk about it first, because I just feel like that's going to be easier to talk about.
Talk
Okay.
about.
I guess I don't know. I guess we could talk about it like non-spoilery first if we wanted to, or do we just want to do all spoilers?
Fucking
Let's
all
talk
spoilers.
abouty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying all spoilers.
It doesn't even
Okay.
matter at this point. Everyone's
Well, listen, for all 5 people that are going to be listening to this,
If you haven't seen Up
you're
Chapter 2, now's your chance to fuck off.
Yeah.
look. There was a lot of. I said this to Matt. I was like, there was a lot of stuff that was like kind of cringy for me with it, but like I don't know. I actually like really enjoyed it, but
I did too. It was
I don't know. I didn't think it was that scary, and I
well.
feel like it dragged.
I don't think it was that scary, but to that point, the first one wasn't that scary either.
I like the first one better.
yeah, I don't know. I thought like, and I mean, obviously, I guess technically he was, but like, I would have liked to see more of like Pennywise, like the clown, um, instead of like all the different like shape shifting, different things they had. The one thing that I thought was the dude that they got to play Stan literally looked
Yeah,
exactly like.
I really
Yeah, yeah.
I truly thought that was him, and I had to look it up after the movie. I
That
thought
like
it.
they had just like aged him up like
Yeah,
in
like
CG
He
or
looks
something.
just like him.
I was. That was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that was another person.
Like all the other ones, like Bill Hader, it's like, yeah, I could see like, like Finn Wolfhard kind of like growing into this, like kind of having like that wacky hair or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
that's a possibility. It literally, and then like,
It just looked like a
especially, it's like,
taller Stan.
yeah, it's like they knew when at the beginning they had the whole thing. Pepper like, you look the exact same. It's like, yeah, you really will.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit! Do you know this kid? Is this your fucking child?
Also, Matt pointed this out after the movie, but like how they really lingered on the like stuffed turtle that was on Mike's, or was it Mike? That was
No,
character's
it was
name, right?
Ben's
Yeah.
relic when he went to the classroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was the turtle on the desk, on the teacher's desk.
They did
Yeah.
the same. Yeah. Because obviously we all know that the fucking turtle has significance in the book or whatever. Um, but I'm pretty glad that they didn't go into that because that I feel like that would have been just fucking nonsense. They were already pushing it with the fucking getting high and then tripping on looking at the fucking
Yeah,
leather
exactly.
barrel thing.
Yeah, well, it's like the thing is that if you get into like, oh, we're fighting like a literal ethereal monster or whatever, it's like then there's no like if you made the villain that big, it's like there's no way that like 7 people would just be able to like fight that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
You break your like that's fine in a book, but you can't do that in a movie and make it believable.
yeah, I know. I don't know his name. I think it's like Andy Muschietti or something like that.
The director?
Yeah, the director.
Yeah.
He said that he thinks like with the book that there's a lot of like prequel possibility with it, which I was like, I guess, but I don't
How
know.
long? I don't know if any of you know this, but like in the books at least, how long does it say that like Pennywise or it has been like terrorizing Derry?
I
Is it,
think
like,
I think they
forever,
got
like,
that
as long
accurate
as-
in the movie. Like he's been around for a really long time.
Yeah. I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it, and it was also long, and
Yeah, it's
so
pretty long.
I just felt like it dragged. I just felt like it was really dragging its feet.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of times for me that I was like, this is kind of cringy more than anything, or like some things that were just like, I don't know, like really like, oh, okay, I guess just it's not a thing anymore. Like you're actually telling me that like as they're all like freaking out and Mike is throwing a chair onto the table in that Asian restaurant,
No one's
that
coming
like
in there to
they're
stop
just like,
them.
guys doing okay? Oh, just a check? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to the. That was funny. I was trying to hold back laughter.
Oh no, it definitely was funny, but it's like it's just I don't know. My head went into like, there's no way that they like somebody would see like people freaking out like that, like literally destroying furniture,
Yeah,
and just be like, I'll get you a check.
My
is it separate or all? In one?
Yeah.
I know y'all like when you go see movies, your theaters are notorious for fucking like crazy people doing nutso shit in a movie theater, like no movie etiquette. But
Yeah.
my movie theater erupted on that scene.
Oh
Like,
really?
They were
well,
dying.
we went on like a Monday afternoon, so there wasn't that
Yeah,
many
it was like
people
it was
in
dead. I think there was maybe like 5 other people in the entire theater.
there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, that was I don't even remember when we saw it. I guess it would have had to have been a month by now. But when we saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, there was like that was probably one of the most annoying like theater experiences that I've ever been to. It's like I've said it is horror movies. It's like the people who go see those movies have never been in a movie theater, and it's very annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the sudden outbursts of just like they get me.
It's the people's way of coping with fear. So it's like I get it, but like shut the fuck up.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like I'm a big man or whatever, but these modern horror movies are not scary, and especially
No.
like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. If you're a fucking grown ass man and you're sitting here going, I have to cope with my fear by outbursting some stupid joke, then you're a baby. You're a little
Yeah.
bitch baby, and you probably should stay home. Don't go to these movies.
Well, it's like it's like horror movies. It's like the whole like movie theater experience of like you're in a dark theater, like you're not like on your phone, you're not paying attention. Like those movies like really get heightened up by that experience. Like you're with a bunch of other people. So like to be sitting there like trying to get like I said when we saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, there was literally somebody like cackling laughing for like 2 minutes straight in like the back of the theater, and I'm like, and it wasn't even like nothing funny had even happened. Like it wasn't like, oh yeah, it was a funny scene. Like you're just having like a big reaction. It was like I just don't get it.
There's always that one though, and like I know this conversation's kind of moving away, but like there's always that one, and like it's a lot of Marvel movies I've noticed, or it's like who thinks everything is just the funniest thing he's ever heard. Like I think Marvel movies are funny, but like not like I'm sitting here fucking dying 2 minutes. The joke has gone by 5 minutes, and I'm still over here like, whew, shit, that was so funny.
Yeah.
It's to the tad to that. It's like they try and add a lot of comedic value into those movies to break up the tension, and not every time it's gonna hit. You don't have to fucking bend over dying at every joke.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
maybe that was like one of the problems with it, where it was like I felt like there was a lot of times where I was like, oh, like this is a happy like they're going back to their childhood town, like more than I was like they're fighting a fucking interdimensional clown that's gonna kill them.
Right. I thought like honestly, I thought that the best casting in that movie like was Bill Hader
Yeah, me
as,
too.
Yeah, by far.
and I thought I don't know like the worst casting, but like I really didn't think James McAvoy was like that great of a choice for that role.
No, I didn't either.
It always fascinates me, like the roles that he chooses to take, and I don't know. I have no substance behind saying that except for like where he's from. I think he's Irish, right?
Yeah,
Is
he's
he?
either Irish or British.
English. Yeah.
I after I saw it, I was watching like interviews and like people, the actors talking about their movie experience and shit, and he's just like talking in his native language, native like accent, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen It Chapter 1, but like I felt like his character especially was like that's not the adult version of what was it, Mike?
Mike, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I feel like to that point, everyone really like looked like their older casting except him.
Yeah, but even I feel like the way he was acting,
Wait,
Like,
which one?
Mike.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's just like it felt like that is not the grown-up version of the
Wait.
kid from It Chapter 1.
No, it's Bill. It's not Mike. It's
Or
Bill.
Bill, yeah.
Mike is
Wait.
the black kid.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Bill. Was it like William? They call him Billy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like like the first like few scenes that he's in, he like doesn't stutter at all, and then like all of a sudden
Yeah.
randomly he just like starts his stutter again.
Well, I
It's
think that's like the
the-
whole like they're back in the town.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Mike was like, why you stutter? It's fear.
Yeah.
So- I was like, oh, that's why.
yeah.
That's why he's been
Uh,
stuttering his whole life. Gotcha.
James McAvoy is from Glasgow, by the way.
Oh, Scottish.
Scotland.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Well, what I was gonna say was completely off topic, but I actually tried to do a whole deep dive into actually understanding the difference between the UK, England, and Britain because I had no idea.
I know.
And yeah, I figured that out now. I
Should've just
figured it
come
out.
to me, 'cause I know.
Well, share your secrets, boys.
Well, England is a country. Well, it's like I guess it's weird. Like it's England, Wales, and Scotland is like the British
And
island.
North Island.
And well,
North
No.
Ireland.
like that one island that's like England is Wales, Scotland, and England.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. No, I see what you're saying.
And like,
That's
I don't
considered Britain,
understand this. Yeah, like Great
and
Britain, and then the UK is Wales, Scotland, England, and Northern Ireland.
right, which is what that's what I yeah,
And the
and
British
it's like
Isles is Ireland, Northern Ireland, and then Wales, Scotland, and Britain, England.
right. So like if you said that like someone from the Republic, because like Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland are like on a different island than the other countries in the UK, but the Republic of Ireland isn't in the UK. But like so if you said that like somebody from Northern Ireland was like I don't know, there was like a thing where it's like just colloquial, I can't say that word, but like if you like said that someone from Northern Ireland was like British, that like technically you would be correct, or like if someone was Scottish, that if you said they were British, you would technically be correct because of like the different way. It's still very confusing, but I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
weird.
I was like, I don't have any grasp as to anything about this, and I watched a video, and the guy literally sounded like he was speaking in like times five or whatever, and just
Well, it's
rattled it all off.
it's like I don't know. It's probably like because we're American, but I feel the same way about like Puerto Rico. I have like a lot of questions. Like,
Yeah.
do they use our currency?
I think so.
And if you're born in Puerto Rico, are you an American citizen?
I don't know because you don't have statehood.
Yeah, it's weird.
What?
But we collect taxes from them, don't we?
I think so. I think isn't that the whole issue that Puerto Rico has with us?
Yeah, but they
Like
won't.
being a territory of
Like
the
they
US.
won't. They're like voting against statehood. I'm pretty sure it's not like a. I'm pretty sure it's not a thing where we're blocking them. I think it's like they're voting against it because they have. I guess they have some sort of like liberties being like just a territory and not an actual state.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure. It's like one of those weird things. Like, can you, if you're born in Puerto Rico, could you become president, or do you have to be born in one of the 50 states?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. They use. I did just look it up. That they do use the U.S. dollar.
Interesting.
What?
I guess that makes
Where?
sense.
Like, is the U.S. dollar? It's only used
So,
in United States and Puerto Rico.
well, I was gonna. It depends because when I went to St. Thomas, which I guess that's also U.S. territory, so never mind. I really don't have a grasp on it.
So I just looked up: are people born in Puerto Rico able to be president? And all it says is that areas including Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Guam are not allowed to choose electors in U.S. presidential elections or elect voting members of the U.S. Congress. So I imagine if they can't even.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure. Don't they have people? I'm pretty sure Puerto Rico has representatives that like sit in congressional meetings.
Yeah,
But they
I think that's right.
They don't have votes, or like they don't get to speak.
Yeah, I
They
do
just
think
sit there and stare.
You can come, but don't speak.
Yeah.
I do think that there are. So I'm looking this up right now. I do think that there are other countries that use the U.S. dollar because, like, either their currency just went to shit or for whatever. Like, yeah, there's a few. United States, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, Ecuador, Republic of El Salvador, Republic of
Ecuador,
Zimbabwe,
really?
Guam, Virgin Islands, Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. I'm probably butchering a lot of these names, but there's like, I mean, it's like a good list of like 15 different areas that use our.
That's weird. I wonder
currency.
how that works in terms of like do we get something for allowing them to use our dollar?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I know.
it just like it probably just values the dollar more. Perhaps.
Yeah, well, that's like I think that like I don't know. I'm really speaking on my depth now, but I'm pretty sure there's like a whole thing where like the U.S. is like really fighting for like Middle Eastern areas to value oil by the U.S. dollar because like if that doesn't happen or whatever, it can cause like extreme inflation or like deflation of the value of the dollar or something like that because of how much money we invest in the oil.
Yeah, that's above me.
It's quite above me as well, but
Not me. I'll let you guys know all about it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Me and my
you know.
oil buddies.
It's just like a weird. I don't know. There's a lot of like deep diving you can do into like shit like that, where it's like you think you know, like oh yeah, I know about the U.S. dollar, but then it's like no, I have no idea.
Well, right, like, well, that was the same thing. It's the whole reason why I looked up, like, the difference, like, UK and all that. I was like, oh, yeah, UK, that's England. That's the same thing. It's literally the exact same thing. There's
Nope.
no
Yeah.
difference. Like,
Well, and yeah, but it's like it's also like we don't learn about that. At least
Yeah.
not here in the States.
yeah.
And that's
At
a
the very
problem
least, not in
too.
Georgia.
A bigger problem. I don't know what it's like in Europe, but it's like in the States, especially kids nowadays, they have a fundamental misunderstanding of geography. They have no idea where anything is. Even kids like the millennial generation or like like between millennial and Zoomers, it's like they have no idea where anything is.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that might. I don't know. I don't know how much foreign people know because I'm not foreign, but that might stem from the fact that the U.S. is literally the size of Europe.
I was gonna say, please have the people. If you gave, like, I would say over half of the people in this country a map, they would not be able to like list all the different. Like, they may be able to name all the different states, and even then, I don't think a majority of people could do it. But to actually like say, oh, this state goes here, this state goes there.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think I could do that. Frankly, I'd probably get close, but I don't think I could
I
do
could
it.
get pretty close.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
feel
it's
like
like,
people from other countries, like I don't know, the big ones like California, New York, Texas. Like I feel like people know about those, but I don't know how many people from like France or oh yeah, I know about Idaho. I know exactly where that
Yeah,
is.
right.
I can point exactly to where Wyoming is.
Well, like, even on our own country, it's like, if you're from the Midwest, you might be able to fill out the Midwest states really well, but you might do like awful at the Northeast. And if you're like from the Northeast, you might do awful at like filling out the Western states.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my issue. I can do the East Coast and the West Coast, but everything in between is like a little rough. I
And
have
don't
a
you think it's a
general idea
little
of where shit
weird
is.
though, where it's like I don't know, obviously I keep saying it, but like I don't know how it goes in Europe. But it's like I feel like in our country sometimes it's like, oh, I'm from Georgia or I'm from New York or it's like I have more pride in my state than like I'm an American. It's like
Well,
weird sometimes. It's like the
well,
inner like I'm a New Yorker, you're a Californian kind of weird
well, right.
rivalry.
Well, it's like that's the whole thing of like, where it's a whole bunch of different countries, because it's like if you could be a United States citizen, but if your entire life you lived in Manhattan, and then in like somebody else lived like in Montana, it's like you both grew up in the same country and lived very different lives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
true.
Well, with that being said,
Joker.
yeah.
And I was
Oh
like,
my god. I am getting like kind of nervous about Joker. Have you seen like these memes that are going around like we live in a society and all that?
No.
no.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing. I'm not like fully in tune with it yet, but I don't know. Joker's getting a lot of hype and I'm getting a little nervous about it.
What is it, like your whole thing, or like I literally just googled "we lit" and it was like "we live in a society." Know your meme.
Wow. There you go.
Um,
Educate
give
us.
us the lowdown.
yeah. Well, let's see. We live in a society, a series of images that compare two similar things, one popular and other under acknowledged by complex using. I mean, this is literally just explaining what a meme is.
There you go.
The image is also captioned by the phrase "we live in a society," implying that the cultural conception and opinion is wrong. The format is, however, do not be confused with the phrase "we live in a society" commonly found in gamer Joker memes. What?
Wait, is it like a Banksy thing? I'm on the Know Your Meme page. Isn't that a Banksy photo at the bottom?
Of.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
In early 2014, street artist I Heart unveiled "Nobody Likes Me," an art piece featuring a child crying underneath a series of social media reaction indicators, all showing zero reactions.
Ooh, edgy.
Yeah, this got like a lot bigger than I thought. Just looking up a simple meme.
Yeah, it's like a thing.
Huh,
It's like a
I've
weird
never
thing.
seen
Like
this.
and like it's like people are like touting this movie Joker as like an incel like movie. You heard about that?
Oh yeah, I did. That
No.
he's just yeah.
He's like a hero of the incel community.
Because like the whole thing or whatever is that like, or an idea. I read somebody, it was like that high top films guy that I talk about, but his whole idea was that like, he pretty much is way the movie's probably going to go is that like he's really connected to his mother, and that like everything of like he keeps this good happy smile is like, everything with his mother, and he meets like a girl to like, get with and everything, and she ends up rejecting him, and then like through the like loss of his mother, and then like loss of like his significant other, like the girl that he's interested in, is that like that's what starts like officially allowing him to break down into the Joker and everything.
Joker,
So it
the
is an
biggest
incel
intel of us all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do nice guys always finish last?
I don't know. I'm getting, and I don't know if this is how you were talking about it, but I'm getting nervous about it in that like I'm getting extremely hyped up for this movie.
Yeah. I feel like going into movies with no expectations I always enjoy them better.
That's why I don't know what it was, but me, I think you and me, Matt, or it might have been Ryan, we were talking to too. But like we were saying that like I'm so excited for like a certain, like a movie to come out because it was like I know nothing about it, and that's like the perfect space for me to be.
Yeah, I can't remember
with a new movie.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I hope, God willing. Well, and then you were talking about the other day where he was like Joaquin Phoenix was getting mad that like Thomas Wayne was gonna be in it.
Yeah, he pretty much wanted this movie to just be like just a man descending into madness or whatever, and wanted no connections to DC whatsoever. Like, which I was like, okay, but if you signed on for a movie about the Joker, like regardless of Thomas Wayne being in this movie, like people are going to associate it with DC. Like a lot, like, and I'm not sitting here saying like you have to make it a whole thing where you have to go in and fight like Batman or whatever, but like like a quick little like small nods, you know, like.
Yeah.
Really isn't that big of a deal. Like honestly, I think 90% of people, well, probably less than that, but like don't know who Thomas Wayne is. It's not until they like show a little young Scrap and Bruce that they're gonna be like, oh.
Well, I think maybe he wanted it to not be like any association with like comic book movies. Like he wanted to move away from that.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, like it's getting Oscar buzz, which is weird.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It would be interesting if the last two people to win, like actor wise, to win an Oscar for like a comic book movie role would both be people that played the Joker, because I don't think anyone's won an Oscar for a comic book role since
Heath Ledger.
since Heath Ledger
Has
for
anyone
best
been
supporting
nominated?
actor. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even think The Dark Knight was nominated. Hold on. I don't even think The Dark Knight was nominated for Best Picture that year. Dark Knight.
Really? What year was
Yeah.
that? 2008,
2008, I think.
8.
9, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope it's good. Because
Brian,
I
have
thought
you
it was going to be good, but
Yeah. Have you seen the not Dark Knight, Batman Begins anytime recently?
No, it's been a while.
Yeah, we just watched it the other day, and I was saying like, man, I could not give you like I could maybe give like a general like, oh, this is the villain, like this is kind of like what happens in the end and everything, but like I could not have given you an overall plot. And it's like if you didn't watch that movie, I feel like that movie is like the most out of place with like the Dark Knight trilogy. Like I feel like Dark Knight Rises and the Dark Knight have a lot more like they're way more synonymous with each other.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the disassociated one. I feel like a lot of people think the Dark Knight starts at the Dark Knight trilogy starts at the Dark Knight. I like Batman Begins. I think it's a quality movie. I think it's the second best movie.
I like it
better than Rises.
And yeah, The Dark Knight did come out in 2008. I do like it better than Rises too. I think that it's like of the whole shtick that like the Dark Knight trilogy gets of like being really grounded and everything. I think that one's probably like the least of the three.
Perhaps.
But yeah, I don't know.
We didn't get the like Venom or Bane. Like Big Bane, like in Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah. yeah. I am like looking through like movie release stuff, and I cannot think of what that movie was that we were saying that was like in a really good spot. Yeah, there was that. Apparently also Joaquin Phoenix was like just up and walking off set and like leaving like the studio or whatever randomly
really?
in the middle of scenes, and like
on the Joker.
Yeah, like would just completely just leave with no like and then
fuck this
I don't
shit
know, but he
I'm
just was saying that he just kept getting like annoyed, and Todd Phillips, the director, said that like he was getting annoyed at Joaquin because like all the other actors would pretty much sit there and be like, oh, did I do something? And then like then they would be like in this weird state, and then like they couldn't really get back in like the mindset of like being in the movie again.
You know, I looked up Joaquin Phoenix like a month ago. His IMDb. You know, he was in Brother Bear. He was like the dude from Brother Bear.
The main guy.
Yeah, he's like the
He
main guy. I can't
was.
think of his name. Yeah.
That's actually shocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was shocked too.
Holy shit.
Well, because it's like, look at any other movies that he does. He's always doing like weird out there like indie films or whatever. It's like the last,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess a man becoming a bear in like
You mean a bear descending into madness?
yeah.
His name was Kenai. Joaquin Phoenix. There he is.
Wow, that's
I
It's
was
quite the role.
shocked because I was like, oh, what was he? What has he been in? Other than because like Joker.
well, he's been in a lot. He was in just a lot of the stuff, like I said, is a lot of like indie kind of like out there type films, like more like I'll say like Oscar bait films.
Mhm.
He was
So-
in Her, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I really like that a lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
He was this movie. It's like a western. It's like the Sisters Brothers. It was John C. Reilly. I never saw that, but I heard it was really good.
That has it's Riley and Will Ferrell, right? Or is it just
No.
Riley?
No. It's Riley and Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh.
Joaquin.
Joaquin. I don't know. I mean, Joaquin. I mean, how else do you want me to say his name?
It's probably pronounced something like Joaquin or something.
Yeah, like something
completely-
completely different. Yeah.
It's just like Joaquin, like the J-O is silent.
Yeah.
We're the bigots here. So he's got a name in this too, right? His name's Arthur Fleck,
Yeah.
which is strange.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like there are some people that I think are just gonna really love this movie as like a character study movie of like literally just somebody descending into madness, and then there are going to be all the like Joker DC stands that are like, oh, like this isn't exactly in the way that like I know the Joker from this one comic series that I read 5 years ago,
Yeah.
and like because it doesn't fit my exact. It's like it can still be a good movie. It's like Tom Holland's Spider-Man is completely different than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It's like you could completely think of them as two different characters and still get like enjoyment out of the fact that it's like two different Spider-Man movies.
Well,
Yeah.
to that point, I mean, think about how much of a fucking leap Raimi took by making that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man have fucking webs in his veins and shit.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
even
that was
like
quite the out there concept.
compare Cesar Romero's Joker to Heath Ledger's,
Yeah.
and then get back to me.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. It's like, you got Cesar Romero, Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Mark Hamill, and then not only to go into like all the different other like voice actors that have played the Joker, and it's like because it's just like we've said, it's like I didn't like Jared Leto's Joker that much. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it that much. But it's like his Joker fits way better in Suicide Squad than Heath Ledger's Joker would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you have to write a character in your thing for what you're making. Like it can't just be like, because that's going to get real boring real quick. A lot of people say that they're like annoyed with origin stories. It's like, oh, I don't need to see Batman's parents dying again. But then like they get also upset if like there's any kind of change to the character.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even in the converse, like Heath Ledger's, imagine Heath Ledger's Joker in the Adam West Batman show.
Yeah.
You know? That'd be very out of place.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't really make any sense. I also said or saw that like the Todd Phillips, he was like that Joker and Batman, like his Joker with Joaquin will not cross over with Robert Pattinson's Batman at all, which I don't really know how much of a say he has in that, but
Who, Phoenix?
no, Todd Phillips, the director.
Oh.
Well, I don't feel obviously if Joaquin Phoenix is having a goddamn aneurysm that Thomas Wayne's in the movie, I don't
You
think he's
probably
really
won't
going to
agree
be
with
the
that.
first one to sign up for a Batman film.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could take the worry that he's not going to give a good job, but it depends on like what kind of contract he's under. Like, is he under contract to like any DC film that we say like you're going to be in, or is it just like you only Joker films? You know?
Well, is it like a one movie kind of thing, or
Honestly, I hope so. Like, well, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. It could very well be set up with something like, oh man, I want to see more of that. But like, I think that this movie could be really set up well with just kind of like a interesting one and done type story.
yeah? And then the problem is too, like I obviously don't know what they're gonna make his age in the movie, but how old is Joaquin Phoenix?
I don't know. I think he's at least in his 50s.
So and then it's like in this movie,
Maybe
what
40s.
Bruce is what, a newborn or like a young child?
He's like 10 at most.
So then you're gonna tell me that Batman's gonna grow up to fight like an 80-year-old
Right. Yeah.
geriatric?
He's 44 years old.
So 70, 80.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm saying is that like, and the whole point of this movie is to be like outside of like a bigger universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Which is
have that
good.
creative freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
let it
that's
be its
awesome.
own thing.
Because the Joker alone is such an interesting character. I'd love to see more stories with just fucking him.
Yeah. Well, this is like, I don't know, kind of a 180, but that's why like I'm actually kind of glad, and this isn't our main topic thing, but that the whole thing of Marvel bringing in those, or Disney bringing in those Marvel animated shows, I think that's cool as hell. Like I
Oh,
think
agree
it's
too.
the old ones, the like
yeah, like from
X-Men
the
and shit.
90s.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Because it's like all like kids now, it's like all they know as far as like Marvel is like, because it's been going on for 10 years now or 11 years now,
Yeah.
it's like is the MCU. But there's like a whole other, like, to me, what was cool about seeing like these live action stuff was because I remember watching like old cartoons like this, and then it's like I saw it come to life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I don't-
exactly right. And like we've talked about it, but it's like that Disney XD Avengers show, the animated show.
That slapped.
It's like really freaking good.
Fucking
well,
awesome.
yeah, and it was that I'm still pissed about that because they had that show which was like Avengers Earth's Mightiest Hero, and then they like, and it was like a lot more like in tune with the comics and everything, and then they canceled that and pretty much made another animated Avengers show where it was like all of the characters looked like the live action actors.
Yeah. See,
Mhm.
that's why I liked that show because it could do like more and it could be more comic book accurate and just live in its own like animated world.
Right. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot, and I think we were all talking about like the only reason we even got into that was because it was like there was a big lull in Marvel
Yeah,
stuff.
in
Like
Marvel
probably
stuff.
I think Avengers had just came out, and it like
It was between Avengers and Ultron, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I literally was just like I just looked up like Marvel and I saw that and I was like I wonder what this is.
It was good. It was damn good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
But it's also like you're also like you said, it's like you're gonna get a whole new generation of kids being able to watch those like classic animated shows like X-Men.
Yeah, I watched the shit out of that Spider-Man show. I watched that like all the that was back when like Jetix or whatever before Disney XD
Damn, dude.
don't-
was on.
Take me back.
Jet X.
Yeah.
Do you not? Do you remember JetX?
No.
It was on
It-
Disney Channel like later in the evening, and then it was on ABC Family in the mornings.
Do you know you know what Meta Knight from like Kirby looks like, right?
Oh,
That was like it was like kind of looks like that as their logo.
yeah, I see it. I see it now. I never watched
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was like they put a bunch of like the. I
That was
don't know,
where
like,
American Dragon Jake Long fucking came from.
Really?
So it was on there at least. I don't know if it came from there.
That's funny, and it's showing like Fox Kids.
it's got that, and that's where they put all the Power Ranger stuff too.
Was Fox Kids where that was X-Men
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know. I'm not 100%
and
on
like
that.
Animaniacs?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I don't know because there's like a lot of shows that like I didn't watch, like the Hulk show. I watched that like a little bit. Well, because it's also like a lot of these animated shows have like kind of some weird like outside characters that like I mean I are getting more of like the spotlight now. But like She-Hulk is in that Hulk show and everything, and then like other characters like Moon Knight or Morbius or all this stuff that like is kind of taking like into the fold. I think that like a lot of these studios are kind of like, a lot of these movies, like these kids or whatever, don't know anything about like these characters, and it's like if it's you're not going to get a kid to go watch like Morbius, like pretty much a vampire movie. I don't know how dark it's going to be, but I imagine that's or like Blade, like they really PG Blade in the animated Spider-Man movie or
Do they?
show.
Show?
Yeah, well, yeah, because like I don't know. I mean, it's literally just like a kid show or whatever. But you could watch that as like a kid, and then like a few years later when you're like kind of like getting up in your teenage years or even maybe a little younger, I don't know, like watch Blade and maybe have like a better appreciation for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have actually never seen not even one of the Blades.
I haven't either.
I saw the first one with
Oh.
Was it good?
I don't know. It's been a long time. It was all right. They got what's his name?
Wesley Snipes.
No, for the new one.
Oh.
Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah. From recent Oscar fame, or whatever golden. Yeah, Oscar.
Yeah.
Please, that dude's freaking banging out Oscars every year.
I know. He's killing it.
He's making a joke of those Oscars.
He won.
There's people that don't have these.
Yeah.
Got like
Best
10 of them.
supporting actor, and then I think it was the first time that somebody was in the movie that won for best like picture and best animated picture. Because he was in Green Book, and then he played Miles' uncle in
oh yeah.
Spider-Verse.
Amazing movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You want to talk about this? I am the asshole.
Oh yeah, I can bring that up real quick. Okay, I'll read this out because it was more just like funny, especially like the latter part of this post. But anyway, okay, so it's like, am I the asshole for not correcting my roommate when she thought the neighbor is blind? So our next door neighbor has 7 cars. He keeps 4 in his driveway/garage and the others on the road. He's constantly blocking our driveway and has bumped our cars 10 plus times.
What?
I always refer to him as the blind. Yeah, that's yeah. I always refer to him as the blind man, and so do the rest of our flatmates. The reason is because one of the huge vans he leaves in the road is for his blind fitting business. So my roommate is getting pissed that he keeps blocking her in and bumping the car. That this whole bumping thing really throwing me for a loop.
Bumping? Wait.
Yeah.
What's a blind fitting business?
Like I think I'm not sure, but I think like blinds like on a window or whatever, like the material that they're made out of, like the cut, like the exact like measurements to like what would fit different windows and stuff. That's what I assumed it to be.
Yeah.
But
Probably.
I told her to go to his house and speak to him, and she went. And she went, well, I can't really say anything. It's not his fault if he's blind. And then she went on a rant about how is he allowed to drive if he's blind? No wonder he's always wearing sunglasses, etc. Anyway, the other day I came outside to find her helping the man across the street, like holding his hand, and the man looked utterly confused. Then the next day, the blind man reversed into her car
What the fuck?
with his van, and she went outside. I went with her, and she confronted the guy politely, saying, look, I know it's hard for you being blind and all, but I can't afford to keep having my car bumped. You've ripped the plate off. The man, again confused, apologized. He says, I'm not blind, and she glared at me. She asked what he said, and he says again, I'm not blind. As she glared at me again, I pointed at his van, advertising the Venetian blinds. The cogs are turning. She apologized to him profusely and then comes inside, screams at me and saying the past few weeks she's been helping him across the street, helping him reverse, and generally patronizing him. She can't believe I never corrected her.
Wow.
Yeah.
But what was the
So-
because he's like the blind man.
Yeah, like they were saying, like, oh, like, yeah, because he works on a blinds business
Yeah.
or whatever. And
But
she thought-
why?
I thought he was blind.
So he's just a shit driver? Is that
yeah,
what
but
I'm?
like, what world? You were like, oh, I thought you were blind. I guess freaking continue on bumping our car.
The story
Yeah.
is just confusing. He owns 7 cars, but he's like clearly not good at driving. But he has a blinds business. Like what the
Right.
fuck? Where the
Yeah.
hell are you living? What is this?
I was like, in what world are you just nonchalantly like, yeah, this guy bumps into our cars every now and again.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Like what?
literally to the point where we need to repair our cars. You know, we're just letting it
Yeah.
happen.
That's
I don't know, man. That
Psych.
would not fly here. If you were
Yeah, I was
bumping
gonna
someone-
say,
the fucking police are showing up to your door
yeah. You're getting arrested if you bump a fucking car where we're working from.
10 times. You're bumping your
Yeah.
neighbor's car 10 times.
yeah, well, and I think this is like probably at least like I don't know somewhere in Europe because it says our flatmate, so I'm imagining somewhere like the UK
Mm.
or something. Um, yeah, I don't know. I read that and it was like things just got more and more confusing the entire time, and it's just like this poor girl like sitting there like you never saw like the blind fitting business like van, and you just thought this dude was driving blind. Like I don't. In
Yeah,
what
that's
world?
true. Like, in what world is he driving blind? Well, she says here, everyone's being so mean to my roommate. Haha. She's genuinely lovely, and she isn't stupid. She's
Yeah.
very academically smart, just a little ditzy. We kept up the joke for a long time because she'd always be like, ugh, that blind guy has hit my car again, and then rant about how crazy it is that they let a blind man drive. It just cracked us up. Besides, we don't know his name, so we just call him that for ease. She's a sweet girl and feels very stupid, but I'm hoping she can laugh about it soon. I don't know but I
That's
guess like
great.
in your blind rage of your fucking neighbor bumping your car 10 times, like what the fuck? How are they letting that fucking blind guy drive? Like you're not sitting there and like, wait a second,
Like thinking it
surely they
through.
wouldn't let a blind
Uh,
person drive.
It was probably like she couldn't even rationally think that this man wasn't blind because he hit her car fucking 10 times.
Yeah, right.
There's no way
I
he's
was
not
gonna say,
blind.
I'm like, how, where? I need to know like how the situation's getting resolved because if you're not blind and you're still bumping our cars, it's like
Pay for my fucking damages, dick.
it's time to fucking
Yeah.
figure it out.
Get some
well,
glasses.
and I'm reading through like the comments and everything because this isn't "Am I an asshole?" Post, and like everyone's like, "Nah, it's not your fault. Your roommate's dumb."
Yeah. Well, I
But
don't know. It's definitely not. I don't think it's her fault because it's like you got to think through that shit.
yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. It just well, it's like I can understand letting this joke go, but it's like, is it just this girl who thought that this dude was actually blind? Like, is it only her car getting hit, or is all of them getting hit?
I don't know.
Because it's like at that point, it's like, oh, my car, like I'm literally paying hundreds of dollars or whatever in damages, but like she thinks this dude's blind. Let's keep this going for a little longer.
Yeah.
I don't even know. How do you even resolve that? Well, and also forget him being blind. If he's bumping your car 10 times, I feel like he's a menace to the roads. Like I don't think he should have a license.
Yeah, if he can't even so much as
What's he
back
like?
out
Yeah, he
or
can't
like,
back out of his driveway properly. What's he doing on the freaking streets?
yeah, I don't know. It's like, well, and like I think we said, it's like it's a weird dynamic now because it's like now like someone that you were like kind of chummy with and like helping out, are you gonna be like, hey asshole, like
Pay my fucking fines
right?
or damages.
No,
I
now
don't
it's
know.
probably a thing where you can't even freaking approach him anymore because it's like you're so mortified that you thought he was blind.
I was a fucking idiot. I can't ever talk to him again. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I that was just so like all confusing for me. Do you think like there are some posts that like I'm just like, is this actually real? Like I was telling Matt the other day that there's a subreddit for people who like think they have telekinesis and like are giving tips and tricks to other people about like how to hone their telekinesis powers.
What was the subreddit called again?
I can't remember. I'm looking it up right now. Subreddit
It was like
for
the one that freaking
It-
page was reading.
And that it's
Yeah.
not like a joke page. It's like true.
No, it's like these dudes are actually like there might be some people in there trolling, but like it was actually like
There probably is some people up in there trolling. If you know that.
Fuck me. If you tell me that subreddit name, I'll be in there.
Because it was the one guy. It was like basically the basic gist was like he was like, today I like moved a spoon 3 inches. It was probably the most movement I've had in months, and it was like
yeah. And they were like, what was your headspace like? And he was like, I felt very lightheaded but very energized.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
They're like, what were your eyes like, or something like that? What were your hands like?
yeah, he was like I told the can that I was one with it and that the can and I are now like together, because like the whole thing was like he like moved like the cap of like a can, like the little tab.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he was like, I told the can that I am one with him and he is one with me. And
Well, I
like,
was telling you, like after we were talking about that there's people that like think they're real life like waterbenders, and they go to like a creek or like a river, and they're like, look how I'm manipulating the water with my hand. Look how I'm making the waves splash a little higher with my hand. I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
I
Freaky people.
mean,
Like these telekinesis people. They're on YouTube. They're like making videos. Like, oh yeah, I'm telekinetic. Here's my power.
look. I mean, look.
Yeah.
When I was a child,
Mhm.
and you're in the shower and the water's coming down you and you like move it with your hands or whatever, I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like I have fucking powers. I'm a kid. Doing that as an adult, I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
really trying
Being
to find the one that Paige read
a
because
fully conscious, aware adult thinking that you're telekinetic.
how to control water with telekinesis. Phil is gonna
Wow.
teach him telekinesis. Oh, this might
Yeah,
be
I bet.
satirical. I'm trying to. It was freaking critical
Hey,
penguins.
what's up, guys? It's critical.
It was that guy who reacted to those videos of the dudes going down to like the water.
there's one person that posted from Cognition Today, the science of why psychic powers are impossible. Just to,
Nice.
there
Throw a
was like
little.
there was like one post where it was like yeah, hold on, when it is when the trolls come, just remember their self-doubt is their problem. Doubt is the enemy of progress, and doubt carries a vibration same as all thought, matter, and energy do. Other people's doubt can affect your own results. This is even why filming telekinesis is harder than doing it when you're isolated. Think about it a bit.
Of
It'll make
course.
sense.
Of
And
course.
ignore the trolls, unless you're like me and enjoy calling them out in their ignorance from time to time.
Tell me why every time I see Bigfoot,
Awesome.
my phone isn't charged.
Yeah.
Well, tell me why whenever I see Bigfoot, I'm literally shaking convulsively and I can't get a good.
I only have my Nokia flip
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
My fucking camera from 20 years ago.
Right.
And then I get the horrible shakes.
I just get so scared. It's Bigfoot,
God.
Oh God. I was really quick. I was to just change topics again. I don't really understand where this like Office podcast is supposed to go.
I don't either. Like, what is it for? Are they going to be in character while they do it?
No,
or is it just like the two actresses talking.
They're literally going to go through every episode of each episode is going to be about a single episode of The Office, and they're going to talk about it.
That's what that is?
Really?
Yeah. I'll double check to make sure that I'm not giving out information to the masses, but
Because I knew that you told me it was happening, and I was like, oh, that could be interesting. But if that's their fucking subject matter, I don't know.
It could be interesting, but it's like what we were talking about yesterday. It's freaking, was it Jenna Fisher? Is that her name?
Yeah, Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey.
Yeah.
Kinsey. Yeah.
They're holding on desperately, clinging like we need the Office.
But if I wanted some insight into what was everyone's mindset during this episode, I'm gonna go watch the bloopers because they're funny as fuck, and then I can get just as much as information as I would need.
Yeah.
Not Jenna Fisher's information, okay?
Yeah, sorry, Jenna Fisher.
The weekly podcast called
Huge
Office
fan.
Ladies breaks down an episode of the show with the duo who are BFFs in real life. Oh my God. Answering listener questions and revealing behind-the-scenes stories. According to the podcast company Stitcher, it'll be the ultimate podcast for nostalgic fans. It'll premiere on October 16th on Stitcher's comedy network, Earwolf, and will be available on all the usual podcast platforms.
If they're not getting at least one other star from that show on their podcast every week, I'm not listening.
Yeah, they could perhaps be getting guests. But every week, how long is it going to go? How many freaking Office episodes are there?
I'm
And
literally
how long?
Googling that right now.
How long can you talk about one episode? A 20-minute episode.
There are 201 episodes of The Office.
Oh.
I would have assumed more.
Yeah.
There's nine seasons.
Well, the first season only has 6 episodes.
That's true. I forgot that.
So, and then each other one still has nearly 20 episodes each. I think.
Wasn't Jenna
At least.
Fisher? She's perhaps still in, or it might have been canceled by now. But she was in a sitcom, wasn't she? Recently.
Yeah, I think the whole premise of it was that her and her husband were splitting, but they were still going to live together because they couldn't afford to not live together or something.
Yeah,
I think it was the
something
whole
like
premise of it. I don't know. It might still be going. I know that I saw ad after ad after ad for that, and then all of a sudden I didn't. So I don't know what that tells you.
Well, that's classic freaking
It's a good
these
sign.
sitcoms that they make. It's like, oh, we're gonna make this sitcom, and then we're gonna like make these ads where it's like, the new sitcom starring Jenna Fisher is the #1 comedy in America, and then it's like gone in like a year. And it's like, well, what happened?
I thought it was #1, baby.
Well, it's obviously there's a huge difference between certain characters or whatever, but it's like you can be known for like a very like big character, like when I see Jenna Fisher, I see Pam Beasley or whatever. It's like that's how it was for a long time for Will Smith with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but and I think people still think of him like as the Fresh Prince, but like they also now think of him as like a lot of other things,
Yeah, Gemini
like,
Man, for example.
Yeah,
yeah,
his magnum opus. So that sitcom was called Splitting Up Together, and it has made 2 seasons, 26
Wow.
episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on her.
Yeah, good on her. Good, congratulations, Jenna.
Is
I
John
don't know.
What
has
about
John
Angela done anything?
has
I
I know John wanted to do like directing, and then that's why he did the whole like Quiet Place or whatever. Has he done anything since then? I don't even. I'm fully
Jack
unaware.
Ryan.
I forgot about
Yeah, Jack Ryan.
And then he's in a new movie. Oh, I don't know what it's called. It's like I think it's another Amazon thing, but I think that it's about like some sort of, hold on, I'm looking it up right now. It's like some conflict that the US had with another country. It was kind of a big deal, but like a lot of people are saying like the way the information about whatever this movie's about, it like the US was kind of shown to be in the wrong, and that this movie whatever it is like is really like, yeah, no, the US wasn't wrong.
that.
No, bro. Is Next Gen?
Bro,
I don't know.
That's
I
not
don't
true,
think
bro.
because
He's a Netflix show or a Netflix
no.
movie.
Yeah, it's a show. It's like a anthology show. It's like Black Mirror. It's like an animated show, but every single episode is a different animation and a different story.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see it. I don't really know.
And then
where
we
it
were
is.
talking about too with Jenna Fisher, her husband, her lovely husband, and how he's quite a big downgrade from John Krasinski.
Yeah.
I was gonna
moved
make
on to
mention
marry
of this.
Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
You posting that picture in the chat of her and her husband, that was a joke, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
Toby.
I was like, that's fucking Toby. There's no way.
Yeah.
And I literally had to go and look it up because I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, I would have loved if you just completely bought into that. We're like, holy shit! I didn't know they got married.
I had to double check.
Yeah, well, because I was like, do you ever think that like Jenna Fisher, like maybe at one point just on screen chemistry and everything, like really got head over heels for John Krasinski, and then like he went and married like Emily Blunt, a very attractive actress and everything, and then like went on to bigger and better things, like
She's
directing
fucking
his
devastated.
own movies. Yeah,
like,
she's like
it's like Kit
doing
Harington
an Office podcast. Yeah,
with his wife, like the bitch who played
Sophie Turner.
no, the Egret.
Oh,
yeah. And then he like goes
the
on
fucking
to
Jonas
have like an
Brother.
on-screen relationship with Daenerys,
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark, who's like, in my opinion, a lot better looking.
Yeah.
So was he like having fucking second thoughts about that marriage? I should have just waited. Could have held out a little longer.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we were saying the other day that Jenna Fisher was married to James Gunn for 8 years.
That's so weird. Yeah, she knew.
Yeah.
She was fully aware. She got the fuck out of there.
Well, there was like that was like a whole big thing that like people were making connection with Brightburn, because he like produced that movie and the guy who played Roy is in it.
Oh yeah.
So that was a whole big old wrap around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I just think this is so like, because it's like, okay, 201 episodes. Is the podcast done? We're over?
Yeah, right. No, please. I mean, at that point, if they've made it that far and they're having like success, it's called freaking no. It's not over.
It's like, yeah.
It's called
Honestly,
Rally until there's a fucking Office reboot.
I hope there isn't. They keep talking about it. I really hope there isn't.
Who do you think is at the front line of those freaking rallies? It's
Those
Jenna
two.
Fisher and Angela Kinsey.
You know the like I don't know, the reason why I'm so like please no Office reboot is because, and I'm all for, I don't have a problem with reboots, it's but because if they bring it back, it's not going to be like, oh, it's a brand new Office show or whatever, because it was its own story that could like be contained. It's like no, they're gonna bring back half of the cast but not all of the cast, and then it's going to be weird because it's not going to be the same writers, and you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
You're never going to capture
Let
the
something,
magic that you originally had when it came
let
out.
something die. Just let it die.
yeah. Well, it's like, we just talked about it, but it's like, if Robert Pattinson's Batman sucks, that's not going to take away from the Dark Knight trilogy. You know what I mean? Because it's its own thing or whatever. But if you continue on the story of The Office, like kind of haphazardly, like you could start ruining setups in like the way that the show ended before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
And then we'll
Because-
kill you.
Because it's not like the Robert Pattinson Batman is like, this is a continuation
Right.
from Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't get it. I think that's especially the Angela Kinsey thing. Supposedly she's like extremely nice in real life, which
Yeah.
you would not know from her own character.
No,
I
I heard the
yeah.
same shit. She seems
Oh.
really nice in like interviews and stuff. I don't know if you've ever watched like interviews with the Office cast, but it's like all of those like, mean grumpy characters. I don't know. I always get into the mindset like, oh, these people are their characters, and then I like
Right.
watch an interview and I'm like, whoa.
Well,
Well, Stanley's
especially
the
like
same way.
especially like these people
Yeah.
who are like known for one thing.
Yeah.
It's like
The-
I can't associate you with being like a person like you're freaking Angela from The Office.
The dude
Yeah,
that
well,
plays Kevin, like that was another one like fucking eye opening when he started talking and he was like articulate.
Wow.
Wow,
I
yeah.
found out that he wasn't actually a dumbass.
No, yeah, I mean, like I knew he wasn't like a fucking half retarded, but I don't know. I just associate the character with the character.
Yeah.
Real
There
problem.
was like a thing where it was like at a Ted Cruz rally where it was like it showed like Ted Cruz and then it had like Kevin Malone from The Office, and above it was like same person, and the guy was close enough that Ted Cruz could see him, and he turned the side around and just like you could see Ted like look at it and then like have a really disappointed look. Oh God, so funny. Yeah, well, it's on the other side of it. It's like the guy who played, I think his name's Jack Gleason or something like that. Or no, that's not right. That's I don't know. The guy who played Joffrey. He was talking about like he like had to walk away from acting for a little bit just because of like how much like hate he got in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a credit to his acting.
Well, right. Yeah, it is Jack Gleason. Okay, I got it right. Which also, Brian, I don't know. When we were watching, I had no idea. But that actor, Jack Gleason, is in Batman Begins.
Yeah, he's the kid.
Yeah, I did not put that together.
I didn't
until
either.
it actually happened.
See, I had known that because I watched Batman Begins like a year or two ago. I rewatched it, and like obviously I've been watching Game of Thrones, and I was like, oh shit, and then but I totally forgot about it, and then we watched again, and I was like, oh yeah, that's that kid.
Yeah, well, it was like the minute I saw him, it was like, dude, your face has not changed at all.
Yeah. What does he look like now?
The same.
Same?
Yeah,
Just
I was
bigger.
gonna say he just seems like one of those people that just like is always gonna look the same.
A Tom Holland type.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
what the hell's the guy's name that plays Draco?
I never remember.
Tom Felton.
Yeah, he looks the same.
Well, then, yeah, you've got him that look the exact same. And then you got the dude. I think it's Matthew something, but the dude who played Neville in Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, Glow
That
up.
dude's like a Neville actor. I think it's Matthew something. Matthew Lewis. I don't know. He looks a little dopey still.
Not really. He looks hot now.
Oh yeah.
A
What's his
little
name,
dopey.
Matthew
He's just a
Lewis?
fucking man now.
Yeah, Matthew Lewis.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I mean, look up like Neville, freaking
Yeah, from like the Sorcerer's
yeah,
Stone.
Sorcerer's Stone or Chamber of
Yeah.
Secret. Look, I'm looking
Well-
at a picture of this man with like an 8-pack.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like is like a chubby little kid
Yeah,
with
in
horrible
freaking Sorcerer's
CGI.
Stone.
Yeah.